Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition, segment, issue, podcast, whatever, of Psychic Solutions right here on W4WN. I am Dr. Linda Salvin, a psychic healer and a medium, and I have been your host on this network for almost a year now. And there are 3 shows that happen Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday is the Recovery Wednesday. We talk about recovery from addiction. And Thursday, I kind of do my spiritual psychic stuff. This week will be on the Mercury retrograde, which starts today, April 2nd, and goes through April 25th. And communication, technical issues, travel, you name it, it's going to go wrong if it can. Things will get lost in the email. Cars won't start. Computers are going to crash. I found one of my keyboards, the B's not typing properly. So anything with the B skips, just little things are going to start popping up. And it's only the first day. We've been in the shadow, which is about a 7-10 day precursor to the retrograde. So the last week and a half has been kind of funky. Now we're going into it. And I will say after the eclipse on the 8th next week, it's going to get even more intense, and then it'll peak, and then it'll calm down, and then we'll breathe again. So that's just Mercury retrograde in a nutshell. Anything with an RE, return, release, real estate, recognize. Most of the time, you do not want to sign paperwork. You don't want to sign away on a contract. Like my car lease is up. I'm visiting with them today, but I'm not signing away. I'm not renewing the lease today. Nothing will be done till May, and I have till October, but I can go visit with them, get the information, but I will not put my name on the dotted line. No. Something always goes wrong. If you believe in the Mercury retrograde, if you don't, try it out and then come back and say, yep, I was right. Okay. I have 2 guests today, not just one, but I have 2. Now, last Thursday, we had Kelly Bell Duncan, who was talking about how the Wicks of Wisdom helped save her from a 20-year jail sentence. 20 years, folks. She was let go on a 4-year probation, of which she's almost at the tail end of. And she's back today along with another friend of mine who I've known for about 4 or 5 years, who's also going through a similar process in the federal system, and she's been burning candles, and she has burned candles, and you're going to hear from both of them today to help you understand what Wicks of Wisdom are. Wicks of Wisdom are my candles. It's been around since 1999. Wicks of Wisdom work like a prescription for your soul. We have legal candles, luck candles, love candles, money candles, harmony candles. I mean, there's a formula for everything you're dealing with. So with these 2 people as my examples today to testify, each candle set comes with 4 bottles of essential oil. Each oil combination is unique to the set, just like you would if you're baking or cooking banana bread versus brownies versus angel food cake. They're all different recipes, but you get 3 items that are called dessert. Same thing in Candle Magic. You get sets of candles, say 3 black and reds and 3 whites, and then all the oils, the herbs, the powders. Then you get the herbs, and then you get a little baggie of powders. I don't tell you what's in them because you can't go out and duplicate it even if you tried. And people have tried, and then they come back and say it didn't work. No, it didn't, because my oils are specially made for me. Then there's petitions, and I teach you how to use the petition through a personal consultation when you contact me off the air once you purchase your Wicks of Wisdom. Why do we talk about this all the time? Because for 30 years, I've been doing Wicks of Wisdom. It's not new. I was on television. Kris Jenner was my host in 2009, we were on national television with infomercials running on the overnights, and it was her first job before she got Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But I gave her sets of candles. She'll never admit that she used the candles, and I hope she hears this. She won't. But the candles do work like a prescription for your soul. So without any more wasted time, I'm going to bring on Gina and I'm going to bring on Kelly, and all three of us are going to do a round robin today about the Wicks of Wisdom, their experience, what's gone on legally, but most of all, what's gone on spiritually within their own lives, because everybody has a life. They're both grandmothers. They've both been kind of in trouble, and they're both still here. Okay. But they both found me in different locations. Kelly heard me on Facebook, and Gina met me in person at a convention. And yet we all connect, and we all have totally different lifestyles. We live in different cities. And I have not met Kelly in person. I have met Gina in person several times, but it's the spirit, the soul circle. It's the unity. It's the common belief of certain things that tie us together, regardless of the negativity that takes place in life. So, Gina, welcome back to the show. You've been on a few times. It's good to see you. And then we got Kelly. Hi, Kelly. It's good to
Thank
see you
you
back.
so much for the invitation. Absolutely. Good to see you, Kelly.
You too.
Well,
And
it's just
how are
good
you
that both of you were willing to, yeah, because last week was Kelly and then Gina called in. I thought, what a great idea. Merge the two, let you two talk, because you both have a similar federal case experience. So, Kelly, why don't you briefly remind us what happened? Then, Gina, you can give us a little brief history. Then we're going to talk about the candles and how you feel and what's going on. But just give a little background as to what the trouble was. Kelly, are you frozen?
Well,
Kelly, can you-
basically, I was looking. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Basically, I was looking at 20 years in prison. I was a nervous wreck. I got a hold of you, Linda. Thank God. And I just, I had to do something to get out of this because I'm a grandma. I have animals. I do animal rescue.
You're breaking up, Kelly. You're breaking up.
Yeah, I know this whole podcast has been breaking up. That's weird.
Well, that's part of the retrograde. I don't think you're going to sign on and sign off unless you want to sign off and come back on.
It's hard to
yeah,
do that.
Rebel, is it us? Is it her? What do you suggest, Rebel?
I suggest that Kelly back out and come back in again, because she's the only one that's breaking up on us.
Okay.
So sign off, Kelly, and come back. I'll talk to Gina, then I'll bring you back. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. See you, Kelly.
Bye.
Okay, so that's typical Mercury retrograde. You think you're going to have a broadcast and everybody's online at the same time, and then something glitches, and that's normal. So, Gina, without telling it all, however you can summarize, talk about your experience as to what brought you here to the show versus how we met through a health product versus some of the conflict you fell into. And I know you're going to be okay, but
well, what I'll do is I'll start from where I am right now and what Wicks of Wisdoms and the candles have done already that I could quantify that is outside of what a normal scenario would be. I'm in a situation of a federal charges involving the PPP loans. So if people are out there and they've done PPP loans, this isn't going to go away. It's 10 years. I was conned and I was a victim. However, you have to take responsibility that monies did go through my bank account, even though I did not get a penny of it. In a nutshell, it was straight out directly. I thought it was going to be dismissed, or it was going to be brought to a misdemeanor, or it was going to be a situation that was going to be a diversion program. They wanted 1 year, 1 day. And I would not do that, and I was going to go to trial. And I did a bonfire of candles. I did a bonsai from Las Vegas directly to you. Came back, and everything just got put on hold for.
When we say bonfire, it means you had something like 12 sets going at the same time, not just
at the same time. All at the same time.
We blasted that thing.
Yeah, we really did. And interestingly enough, as of November of last year, I was still going to trial as of January, but then they changed it from the mandatory 1 year, 1 day to an 8-month home detention and a 3-year probation, where the laws changed in November of 2023, which was completely not even foresaw. So once again, Wicks of Wisdom, there wasn't anything that was coming down the pike for this. And now here we are that I went to go ahead and make a deal because there's really no fighting the federal government. But right now I'm poised for sentencing, and it can be lower than that. And that's going to be coming up on the 24th of this month, and definitely going to be having candles done and having Linda on my side, and have a lot of beautiful people praying for me and writing letters. And so as Kelly was saying, you know, I'm a grandmother as well, and you have so many things that are involved in your life, and when you're conned or you're a victim or something outside of your wherewithal, and you're brought to this situation, i.e. of Mercury retrograde, you need something else other than prayer. And God definitely directs me. I'm wearing my cross. It says believe. So this is all God-based. And I want to underscore that Linda is all God-based. This is all God-driven. And being able to have that light of the candles and the scent of the candles and watching it and watching them dance and speak to me has been such a cathartic process, and really has gotten me through. And even though when they're finished, they're not finished. So I can't wait to start another set.
That's very true. The work continues once they're done. Let me just explain to the people that may be watching that you do 3 candles. It takes about 15 days per set on average, 10 to 15 days, because candle 1, then there's candle 2, and there's candle 3. And then you get all the oils and the herbs that you have to do all the writing of the petition. The petition gets burned in the flame. What's on the petition? You don't get to know that until you speak to me privately, and the formulas are there. But in both, Kelly, welcome back, Kelly. So let's hear you. I think, yeah, that's better. That's better. It was just the connection. So what goes on the petition is the information.
It's still breaking up.
Is it still breaking up? I don't hear it on this sound. What about you?
I'm hearing everything just fine.
I hear everything just fine as well.
Yeah, that's probably your end today, Kelly, for some reason.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, we'll just wing it. We can't keep signing on and off. It is what it is. Again, it's Mercury retrograde. There's always going to be a problem. That's just the way, it's Murphy's Law. But the candles would be to have what we did for both for Kelly and Gina, is to have the court rule in their favor, or for the attorney on the other side to kind of loosen up a little bit or put their foot in their mouth. I mean, there's ways to manipulate without harming. You're not doing anything illegal. You're not doing anything harmful. You're not hurting anybody. And it's like giving somebody an aspirin. You don't even know what's happening. However, what happens in the magic, which is the esoteric aspect of what I do, which is metaphysics, you can't see it. Is it odd or is it God? But why does it work? Nobody knows what candle magic works. It's been around for over 3,000 years. And if you do it properly, you're going to get the results. Not all candles lines out there work as effectively. And I think a lot of you listening, as well as the people here on the show with me today, have used other products and may not have seen the same type of results. And that's because of the special treatment Wicks of Wisdom gets because of the type of oils and how I was trained for the petitions. So you can go wherever you want, people. There's a whole video on my website that when you purchase, I give you that personal video, and you'll listen to me say, go try someone else's candles. But most people end up coming back saying, oh, they didn't work, or only this and that. I'm not in competition. I just do what's in front of me to help who's coming to me for help, and I appreciate it. But Kelly,
I do want to underscore, when I watched your videos of how to go ahead and prep and to do everything, one thing that just struck me that I just want to share with the audience is that we've all been practicing candle magic from our very first birthday. We put candles on our cake and we blow them out and we make a wish.
Your mom says, make a wish and blow out the candle. Yeah, make a wish. It's like, it's a little bit of a wish. Only now we write down the wish in certain words, and then it goes into the flame rather than blowing out. You let it burn, and then the type of wax in these candles disappears. You don't see it, but you start to feel it. As far as feeling and the aroma, the oils itself have a real sweet smell. Did your home smell like flowers, Kelly, at all? Did you do any, or did I do all your candles?
You did mine.
Oh, so you did mine. smelled it.
I didn't trust myself.
Gina has smelled the aroma. It's very
Oh,
sweet.
it's like roses and
Mm.
the essential oils, and then the powders that are placed on it, and the delineation of the oils and the candle and how they smell, and
Oh gosh.
it's not a like it's not a burnt smell. It is a welcoming, inviting, like taking
It's
the most
sweet.
amazing
Yeah,
organic,
it's sweet.
yeah, scent to bring into your home, and it's just always there, and then it envelops your body, it envelops, and it's like a warm blanket, because your oil factory is one of the most intense senses that we have. So visually you're looking at the candles, but then it's there. And what I also found too, that the scent surrounded me, and I would, during the day, I might get a whiff, if it was out in my hair,
Oh,
because once again, I had dozens of candles going on at one time. um but it was amazing. It was, and in fact, I took videos and I took pictures of it, and I go back to those videos and those pictures, and I find comfort in the videos and watching them. I just put them on my big screen, so even though, like
Wow.
you said, that they're
Cool.
gone, but they're not gone, they're still there. And looking at flames dancing, and like one flame looked like two flames, and like that they were dancing with each other, and you're like, am I seeing things? But
No, they talk. They talk.
yes.
The flame talks, and if it goes to the south, the east, the north, the west, it all means something. And then sometimes one wick will separate, and you have two flames on one. And I mean, there's a lot of different clues and ways to read the candle. But the main thing is about this podcast doing a show on two people with federal cases and how their cases. Well, Kelly, we know, didn't go to jail for 20 years. She's here and she's got 4 years of probation. You got what, just a few months left in October. You
Yes.
are a free woman, girl.
Yep.
And then we'll know at the end of the month where Gina's headed, which is probably less than what all the anxiety's been through the last few years of crazies.
Yeah,
Mm,
4 years of just being upside down since the pandemic and all of this, and then 2 years with charges over your head.
And that's what Kelly went through. And she was explaining that last week, all the anxiety, the depression, the fear, the sleeplessness, the
Oh yeah.
Keep on going. It freezes
Yeah.
you, it debilitates you. You are completely frozen. That what you think that are just general things that you can do with your day, you're just completely stuck. And then also the mindset of that you're less than, or that you're ashamed.
Mhm.
I've went through over a year and a half of therapy, and having to be able to speak about this and embrace myself, that this does not define me. I am a victim, and out of that victim, I'm making myself the victor. And it is a mindset, and it is strength. And I really do feel that the Wicks of Wisdom candles underscoring wisdom, that's God's wisdom, and that speaking and that conversation within you will surpass all, beyond all understanding. And this is where we are, and we have to have faith, and we have to have hope, because as they say, when you enter the gates of hell, it says, remove all thoughts of hope. I paraphrase, but Wicks of Wisdom gives you hope. It gives you meditative, respective, conversation within yourself, as you are bringing in the reality of the different dimensions of what we don't understand, what we can't see. And
because
you
it's
have,
esoteric, it's spiritual,
Right.
that's the metaphysics. So stop a minute. That's a beautifully stated sentence or analogy of what Wicks of Wisdom are. So even though you didn't burn them, Kelly, did you feel a similar process as I
Yes.
burn them in my home for you? You still feel it. It still works. I could be in Australia and you'd be in California and it will still work. I mean, I'm burning candles for somebody in the the Bahamas. I'm burning for somebody in Portugal. I burn for people in Israel, and their results are coming. Just like if I'm burning for here to, you're 40 minutes from me. It
Right,
doesn't
right.
matter where But did you feel the same kind of, talk about your feeling, like when I was burning in between our texts messages or your panic attacks, you started.
Yeah, I remember feeling the stress, of course, dissipated quite a bit. My life was ended. There was no life anymore before all this, because you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're anticipating what's going to happen, and your life just stops. So with the Wicks of Wisdom, you're burning them. I actually would sit down and meditate when you would send me pictures, and it would bring me to a really good feeling. I just remember feeling good, and I wish I could have smelled them. Oh, I would have loved that. But
I'll send you some. I'll send you. Remind me. Text me later and remind me, and I'll send you so you can get the oils and you can experience it. But yeah,
I could not believe the way it changed their thoughts when we went to court. I was, oh man.
Well, your attorney couldn't believe it either. That's what I loved.
That's what I loved, that when he called and said, "How did you do that?" I don't know. I felt
a nice Jewish witch in the valley.
He was my Jewish lawyer.
He would love my Jewish candles. They're in Kabbalah. I want to meet him. But
awesome.
the main thing is people. I worked with Kelly during the lockdown because she went to court online, as did I with a court case. And the beauty was that I saw her coming out of this horrible, potential, dark space of 20 years of, oh my God, what am I going to do? I won't see my animals, my kids, my grandkids, my life, blah, blah. But for some reason, I could see beyond, like it wasn't going to happen. And it wasn't just psychically, but I knew that the candles were going to move the sentencing off of her in the way that it did. And I, too, was surprised that it was lessened to such a low sentence, probation, whatever you want to call it, that the judgment came out from here to here, and you were like practically set free. I mean, after just being on probation and living with your boyfriend and seeing everybody and knowing that your life went on without having been behind bars or in the yard and dealing with a bunch of women in jail and all of that, like Gina just said, the heaviness of the fear and the anxiety was lifted. And I'm grateful that this could help you. I will send you some. And Gina, we're at the tail end of hopefully what she's going through. Did we lose her? Maybe she's up there. She's there. So I've
as you said, the tail end. And, obviously we're about 22 days out right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing another set of candles because I'm getting letters and character letters.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Kelly had to go through that process too with all the character references. Did you?
Absolutely. Yeah. And also what I do want to iterate once again that I attribute to the candles, that the judge, he literally stopped and he didn't have to say, he goes, all I know about you is from what the prosecution has handed me. I want to get to know about you before I go further with any of this and what my ruling is going to be. And then even stated that, because my attorney had spoke up on my behalf and he said, you have a very, very good attorney. And so it was very emotional for me to go through that and to, I was crying through the whole thing, but there was a shift in where a level of Ruth from this judge, where obviously Ruth is the, of that caring and compassion in comparison to what ruthless would be, where that would be what the prosecution was at. But it seemed that beyond all understanding, the judge went to go ahead and say, I want to have that conversation and I want to know
and that doesn't always happen.
It does not always happen. So that's where I want to very much so underscore the oddities that is not a normal scenario, is not a normal
Right.
practice.
My
And
my abnormal was the prosecutor was fighting for me.
Wow.
so,
You know,
yeah, so
he told the judge she doesn't belong in prison. Let's see what we can do. He fought for me, and
yeah,
he's the one that wanted me in prison for 20 years.
and
Because
once
let's
again,
stop. Because what we did, we worked a little bit of tweak on the prosecution.
Yeah.
I don't tell you how. I influenced. Okay, the average person is going to look and say, "How are these two girls, women, we're gals?" I'm probably older than both of you, but how do these people talk about federal courts? And all of a sudden, the judge is nice. They're a little forgiving. The prosecuting side's a little more lenient, all because of something that was written on a piece of paper that gets involved with a candle and some oils. Excuse me? Are you sure? Yeah, that's Wicks of Wisdom. They work like a prescription for your soul. I've had people get married. I've had people get jobs. One girl's son passed the bar on the first attempt. I've got in my book coming out this year, there's more testimonials than I have room for in the book. So I'm grateful for what I've done over 30 years and helping people. It was like, wow, I did all this. I don't even remember. But yeah, I'm able to touch lives because of my gift and having been trained in candle magic and then evolving from Santeria into Kabbalah, mixing the two, getting rid of the occult, and it's spiritual. Like Gina was saying, it is of God, because I had I had my Christ awakening, and I had the spiritual awakening, and everything that happened in the plane crash, in the fire truck, and getting hit, totaling a car. I've been through it a few times. So I just incorporated God like a butterfly. I don't know religion at all, but something came through me to be of service to people just like you. And I would never have met you two had it not be for the journey we're all on, And Gina, I forget, when we met in Vegas at the convention, had you already been sent, were you already going through this? I don't remember. Was it already in your world?
no, it was not in my world. That was when we met. That was August of 2021, and all of this had not come to the charges itself that were completely sealed, and nobody knew what was going on. The
2020,
federal,
no, it
that
was
was
2020.
January.
It was 20 right after lockdown, I think. It was 2020.
Right. We met each other in 2021.
Okay.
And so all of this started in January 2022.
Oh, okay.
So,
And then Kelly had already been going through it when she found me. So, but yet we all come together and we're all the same. And we're all still here through all that craziness of lockdown and fears and legal systems and going online for Zoom instead of the court, which I had a court case. I didn't win as much as I want because my attorney forgot to give me one of the names. I said, that's not the name of this. And then it screwed up my own magic. I didn't have enough information. So whatever. But this stuff works, people. You want to say I'm full of it, I'm selling snake oil, that's fine. I bring people on the show all the time to talk about Wicks of Wisdom that works like a prescription for your soul, because it does. I have changed lives gratefully. I have been able to enhance lives. There have been people who got pregnant that had not been able to conceive. I've had people heal from situations that required surgery and that didn't. I'm not claiming to be the medical doctor. I'm not claiming to be the faith healer, because that's not what I do or who I am. But I do have a tool and a gift. And if you follow directions and you need some help in making more money, or like in these people with the legal situation, there is hope. Not all lawsuits come out and not everybody wins, even with the candles. I had one guy burned, 12 sets for a community property building thing, and he lost. But he didn't blame me. Okay. Some people say it's my fault if the candles don't work. If you read the directions, it'll say it's alleged. Nothing is promised, because it's spiritual. You cannot, it's like you can't trademark God. You can't promise.
Right.
Spirit.
You know, can't. I just want to iterate, of a Catholic upbringing, burning incense, lighting candles to the saints, making, donations, having all of that with different essence of, burning and the flame is definitely something that I remember, going through that Catholic upbringing. I mean, myself, I'd say I'm more of an Episcopalian, as Robin Williams said, Catholic light without the guilt. However,
I'm Jewish, and we had Hanukkah, so we'd have candles in December 8 days,
Right.
and then our birthday, or we'd light a yurt site, which is a little 24-hour candle for the dead. So like every year I burn one in honor of my mother. Only I was out of town this year and I honored her up in Alaska, so I didn't burn the candle, but she was with me, and I found pine cones, which is just as much of a message to say she's here. What tradition do you do, Kelly? Do you still burn? You got a candle burning right behind you.
Oh yes, I've even got the candle magic book. I've been studying that. I've been burning different candles for different things, carving on it, and burning it.
Wicca and pagan have different activities, theories, and modalities on how to create what it is. There's more work involved, whether you're carving the name or the initials or taking a piece of paper and putting it under the candle. There's all different rituals. Wicks of wisdom are still different, which I think you're still seeing. I will send you a gift of, we'll talk afterwards. Maybe you need money and success. You want more for your love life. You can get that a little stronger, get some love.
I do want to say my children and my grandchildren said to tell you thank you.
Oh, tell them, I just got chills. Tell them they're very welcome.
My granddaughter is now getting into this.
Well, if she wants a teacher, if she wants help, I'll be glad to help her.
Yeah, she would love that.
Well, that's one thing I definitely want to say, that Linda, you have went above and beyond as being a friend, but then also a creator of Wicks of Wisdom, and your friendship and your spirit surrounded around Wicks of Wisdom, and how you truly look to help people with what you have went through in your walk of life and your journey. I definitely want to underscore that there's been times that I was just really low and you reached out to me, you texted me. It was just as if you knew. And when I first came and saw you and also got a reading from you, you went to say, this is just the beginning and it's going to get so much worse. And I was like, how much worse can it be? And right. But things have changed, and they've definitely changed in my favor. And prayer is important, and focusing of meditation. And once again, beyond all understanding. And thank you so much for what you have been to me in my life, what you continue to be in my life. And I'm just looking forward to, what we are going to be able to create and how I can be there for you in the future. And I am just at a level right now that I'm anticipating this date. I'm, like you said, Kelly, it's time to get forward with my life and go forward in my life. And me being this, not removing the guarding, I was always guarded about what I was saying, how I was saying, but giving myself that permission. And I definitely know that it is from the love that you have perpetuated, Linda, and also from Wicks of Wisdom, and how that is continuing on in my life. It doesn't stop. And that has just been phenomenal. And it's just one more thing that you can hold on to, and you can shift and focus your thoughts where they can be so random and they can be so destructive. And I'm sure you experience this, Kelly, that, at night, and you can't go to sleep and your head is just going a million miles an hour. And I've been blessed just by having people around me and embracing Wicks of Wisdom. And just I cannot underscore for people out there that are in different levels of a tumultuous time in their life, that this is just a safe haven in the storm and can actually offer you shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kelly went through the same thing with the sleeplessness, because there'd be times I would hear a ping on Facebook, and I wasn't quite asleep, but my phone was on, and I'd hear that somebody texted me, and I looked, and it was Kelly, and she just needed to bookend, like, can I just talk to you for a minute? Because her head was going, and my head goes in a different direction all the time too. We all have the anxiety and the thoughts and the dreads, and we're not always thinking butterflies and clouds and rainbows, unicorns. It doesn't work that way. I wish.
I feel for you, Gina. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
it's all flooding back, and it's like,
yeah.
oh, I know what you're going through, and Linda just basically saved my life, and I know yours is going to be next.
Exactly. And just being able to not only get out of your own head, but then being able to have that conversation with other people and getting past
that's why I
that
wanted the
shame
two
and
of
getting
you.
past that judgment. Yeah.
That's why I wanted the two of you after last week to connect, because Gina, Kelly can be there for you having been through it. I see overall, and my position is a little different, but the fact that you two have a very similar situation that I have not experienced, thankfully, at this point.
Thank God.
You guys can help each other, and that's where that connection comes in spiritually in the soul circle, even though I was the conduit of helping both of you, but the two of you help each other now. And that's what it's all about in the world, is just being of service and helping others, because we're all in this together, but we don't all get along, and we don't always belong in that crowd or that crowd. And this one understands, or this one doesn't like me, or this one's dysfunctional. Even in our own families, we can't always get along with everybody, and you find your own space and you're still okay. But overall, back to the candles, they do work like a prescription for your soul. And if you're watching this podcast, people, you can go to lindasalvin.com and look at Wicks of Wisdom, or you can go to wicksofwisdom.net. It's all there. I gave up wicksofwisdom.com when I gave up the when I quit the LLC, when I was on television years ago, where I hired Chris Jenner to be the spokesperson. It's on my YouTube channel at Dr. Linda Salvin. In the corner is the infomercial. But when I gave it up, somebody who's an interior decorator stole my domain, so I don't have wicksofwisdom.com anymore. But I do have .net. But people know who I am. People know who the candles are. They always find it. If you're listening to this broadcast, you can talk about Gina and Kelly and mention that you saw the show, and I'll give you a 15% discount on your candles for the month of April. Should you see the show? I don't know. I people come and go. And I had one girl that paid for a reading, I think, before my trip to Alaska. And then I kept emailing her. She never responded. And then I gave her dates. She goes, oh, that's not good for me. But she didn't finish the sentence, like, here's when I am available. But after a month and a half, I caught up with her, and she's on the book finally for tomorrow. But, communication helps. If you really want something, get it out there. Don't just say one or two things and expect us to understand. But the beauty is that both of you still have your lives. You still have years ahead of you, and you're both helping other people, and you help all the animals, and Gina's a conduit to people and projects, and Kelly, you with all the horses and the dogs and your boyfriend. And when I first met Kelly, that shiny smile was not there, people. And with Gina, the light has come back in your face too. Both of you have lightened up, which is enlightenment, because first for Kelly, that black cloud, we got her, she was free. Gina, you're almost there. And we'll talk about what to do, because I've got 6, 7. I have to light tonight for the people who are in line paying. And then I'll have time to generate some more to just knock it out of the park for you, hopefully. And then what would be lovely is after the court date or mediation or whatever, then you come back and we talk about what the overall outcome was from where it started. As you know, okay, first it was, 10 years, and now 8 months, and then a day, and now it might just be this. So it's just like, Kelly, oh my God, 20 years of my life, to like nothing. But
what you're saying is, though, when it goes to the judge can do whatever he wants, even though that there's a plea deal there. So that's where, they can still say 20 years. They can still say 20 years, or he can, follow the guidelines of what the prosecution has said.
That's
or
his
he can
right.
minimize it. He can literally say time served, sentence, suspended, done for the time, quote unquote, and also probation. And so one of those things where, like you're saying about where you don't know, and where literally I could be gripped with anxiety and fear on a daily basis. I'm reaching out to people and asking them for character letters, and they're saying absolutely, where do I send it, and I'll get that to you immediately. And that right there, for me to be able to audibly say that, I know that's a gift from Wicks of
Well,
Wisdom
that
as
took a
well.
lot of courage. It was hard for you to ask. I remember when you asked me several months ago, and I typed up a 2-page letter that came out of me. And even though there's been no recourse or response yet, because they just collect them, but the people that know you are going to be there for you. And those that understand the importance will show up. And those that don't, like certain family members or certain quote friends, then you know where you stand with them, or they don't want to be involved. It's just, everybody's got everything, but you'll have enough. You will get exactly what you need, just like Kelly got exactly what she needed.
Yeah, I remember agreeing to 5 years.
Did you?
Yeah, I had agreed to the 5 years. As long as they took it down from 20, I was saying, okay, 5 years, I'll do 5 years. And for me to get the 4-year probation was Wicks of Wisdom. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that was where I was coming from. I was like, I'm going to go to trial, because I'm not just going to go directly to jail and directly to prison without even being able to have my say. And then even when it came to where they made that plea deal and that offer, I still had the ability to go to trial. And so that right there, just the pain of, do I accept the deal or do I go to trial? Do I change my sentence? I mean, and that was just tearing me apart, literally. I mean, as a mental breakdown.
Last fall, you were going nuts about like ping pong. What do I do? What do I do? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I could feel it, but it finally wore out. And then all of a sudden you got a message from the attorney. Well, now it's this as opposed to that. And the date's this instead of January. It's like, they keep changing it. And I believe if it were that serious, kind of like with Kelly, they kept pushing the date forward, and it was like, or back rather, and it was driving her crazy, but it gave us more time. But in the end, it turned out in her favor. And I think that's what's happening to you. If you were really some horrible murderer, whatever, they wouldn't be prolonging this.
You know what? It's just, and that's the crazy times that we live in right now. The people that really should be behind bars are getting no bail, and they aren't getting any charges. And then the people that are either being conned or victimized, they're just getting pulled into this pool, and there's just nothing makes any type of sense.
No, it's backwards, upside down. It's crazy.
Yeah. And with that, it's just, you have to, everything has to be going forth on faith and hope. And Wicks of Wisdom gives you that. Once again, I just want to come back to that very meditative, that very deliberate, that very focused. And that was one thing that your videos were very specific. And then even speaking to you about how, when you're writing out those petitions of, you can't overload.
No, there's a certain amount of words, a certain amount of sentences. Because then the candle can't read it. There's a specific formula in what goes in the candle, what goes on the paper, how many sentences, how it's done. And then you don't even use a match, you use a lighter. There's so many little rules as how this works, regardless of other people's technique, and it'll work. Some are with feathers, some are with, carving, some are with praying, or some are, you've got the image candles with the man and the woman, or the two women or the two men, or whatever you're trying to bring together. There's hundreds of candle magic ideas. When my rabbi was alive 12 years ago, we were sitting in a Kabbalah class, and we got to the chapter on candles, and he had already seen the infomercial. He knew what I was doing, and it's called Chakma. Means like the candle represents the soul of man, and the wick, when lit, is the light, which is God. It's love. And so what you're doing is you're giving the petition to the light, which is God. So you got the flame, the light, God. People don't see that. And when I said, Rabbi, because he said, yes, Linda, It's not new. It's been here for a long time because I thought, oh my God, I created. No, there's candle magic in the Kabbalah. I didn't make it up. There's candle magic in the Bible. No, I'm not doing the work of the devil. People think, oh my God, I'm a fortune teller. Nope, I'm a metaphysician. And I'm going to take this moment to tout my horn because last Thursday I was nominated as Metaphysician of the Year, Entrepreneur in the Health Industry of the Year, and some business award, and it's being given in Dubai.
Oh, that's
wow.
wonderful. That's awesome.
So it just came to me. There's 4 levels of interviews. I've already passed the first with the CEO, and then it has to go to a jury. We're talking about a jury. One's a cardiologist from India, and one's some doctor here in the States, and then they've got business people in Europe, and these people are on the panel, and then they have to reevaluate me after the CEO did. So it's a 4-step process. But the fact that I've actually been nominated, and I just told a girl on a reading I had before the show, because she's on TikTok, or no, YouTube, watching how to learn to do tarot. I said, you know, if you want to learn tarot, there's other ways. Most of the people online aren't real psychics, but people think because you're online, you know everything. I said, I'm not doing that. I don't do cards online. I might talk about the candles, but I talk about people's experiences rather than doing the teaching. I said, if I were to do that, that's fine. But just so you know, I've just been nominated as Metaphysician of the Year coming out of Dubai. And she took a breath because, you know, everybody's out there, but the real people get the real acknowledgement. I mean, it's competitive. I get it. It's a game. It's social media. It's the way of the world today. I understand. We're on social media right now. I just don't use my time online to throw cards and talk about wands versus staves and the pentacles and when your love life's going to change. I want to get into the real stuff and really do some help with the magic that I've done for 30 years. We only have
I do want to just quickly underscore that when I met you and we were at a nutrition seminar, you were talking about how you were an epidemiologist, how your focus was on science, that your entire life of science and, you know, that quest as a scientist completely got changed when you were, you know, with your near-death experience with a plane crash and a car crash and getting hit by a fire truck. So once again, I want to underscore to people there that there are people that saying, oh, I've always had this quote unquote gift. You were on a completely different path, but God
I tell everybody,
wisdom.
Thanks, Kelly.
Brought
you are the real deal.
You know, into a different situation. And I know that you shared with me that you're like, this wasn't my choice. This is a path that I have literally
they gave me. I was initiated. I go back and look at it now, and it's more of an initiation going through it. I didn't understand any more than you understand going through the legal system.
Yeah.
You're in that wheel, and then on the other side of it, you'll look back and go, oh my God, like Kelly can now look back. A few more months, you can really look back, and you're almost there to almost get out of the center of the storm, the eye of the storm. With me, it took years, and then I go, oh my God, I was initiated by the other side. I didn't talk about channeling and near death and candle magic and all this. I was studying cancer and diseases, and Legionnaire's disease was the big epidemic when I was in school, you know, versus now we had COVID and all that. But no, I went from science to spiritual and psychic to science to psychic. And yes, I had near-death experiences, and then the stories coming out in the book. And if you two wanted, I think, Kelly, did you give me a chapter, a piece?
Yeah,
I forget. I got so many, I can't remember. Gina, if you want to contribute.
Yeah, I definitely am. But I just want to underscore that because of what you have went through and my relationship with you, with Wicks of Wisdom, and where I'm coming through this, I am now taking a page out of your book that everything that I've went through is what I've needed to go through to become the woman that I'm about to become. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to use this to how I can help other people and how this can manifest. So that right there, once again, underscoring Wicks of Wisdom, the candles, the candle magic, what you've brought to the table. And, you know, this is from my heart to your heart, and anybody that's listening and out there that's on a pinnacle or in a situation right now and needs movement, that I cannot underscore
Thank you.
know, once again, you know, what can it hurt? You know, you've went through everything else, you know.
Let's have Kelly have the final word because we got to wrap up. We got about 90 seconds. Kelly, how do you want to?
Like I said, you are the real deal. You know, there's so many out there, and it is very competitive out there. You know, you get bombarded with emails and bombarded with people telling you, oh, go here, go there. Linda is the real deal. The real deal.
We even get people on the show here where they say, message me and I'll give you a reading. Last week, I think they did that.
Yeah, they did.
They wanted to take the audience. It's like, yeah, you guys want to go. That's fine. Go get another reading. We can all be reading junkies, but when it comes to really getting the truth and to get it done, I have solutions. This is Dr. Linda Salvin. This is my friends, my grateful clients, people that are on the journey just like you folks. If you've got problems with your marriage, business, legal issues, relatives, I have something for everything and everyone. They're Wicks of Wisdom. They work like a prescription for your soul. lindasalvin.com, or you can email me at drlinda@lindasalvin.com. I want to thank both of you. I want to stay backstage as we sign off the air, and then we'll recap. But thank you both for taking your time again. Thank you for giving the message. And most of all, thank you for believing in Wicks of Wisdom. And I'm glad that I could be of help to both of you so you can get on with the rest of your life beautifully. Thanks, you guys. Everybody else, we'll see you soon. This is Dr. Linda at Psychic Solutions Podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.